From the Newstalk ZB newsroom, this is Newsfix.
In this update, emergency services have rushed to the scene of a large building on fire in South Auckland. Fire and emergency say at least 15 crews are at TT Street in Otahuhu after reports came in at around 10:30 this morning. Black smoke can be seen at various points across the city. Police are diverting traffic and are advising nearby residents to keep windows and doors shut. Former US President Donald Trump will fight his guilty verdict in the criminal hush money trial. The presidential candidate's been convicted of 34 counts of falsifying business records in New York. In a press conference outside Trump Tower, he said the trial was rigged and vowed to appeal.
When they say falsifying business, that's a bad thing for me. I've never had that before.
US President Joe Biden says the verdict reaffirms that no one is above the law. Trump's sentencing hearing is set for July 11. Complications are arising for the Papua New Guinea relief effort after last week's devastating landslide. Thousands are still missing a week on. World Vision's Chris Jensen says heavy equipment is needed to move the debris, but crews are wary they could trigger another landslide.
The local people are doing their best with a lot of hand tools, shovels, picks, whatever they have available to dig down to find their loved ones. They're doing the best they can under really difficult, trying circumstances.
Southland is celebrating confirmation Tiwai Point will remain open for business for 20 more years. Meridian Mercury Contact Energy and New Zealand aluminium smelters have signed the deal, which also contains an agreement making electricity available during high demand periods. It follows 18 months of negotiations. Meridian Energy Chief Executive Officer Neil Barclay says being able to provide a term commitment is a huge win.
The loss of jobs and incomes in the Southland region would have been horrific. I don't think anyone involved in these negotiations wanted the closure of the smelter to occur on their watch.
That's news. In sport, golfer Ryan Fox is in a two-way tie for the lead heading into moving day at the PGA Tour's Canadian Open. The Kiwis fired a 6-under par 64 round 2 to be 10 under overall alongside Scotsman Robert McIntyre. They've got a two-shot lead over American Joel Darman. Rowing New Zealand will delay the Olympic announcement of the men's pair boat to compete at the Paris Games, with the rest of the squad to be named on Tuesday. A shock result at last weekend's World Cup regatta in Lucerne saw New Zealand number 2 pairing of Campbell Crouch and Ben Taylor upset the top pairing of Philip Wilson and Dan Williamson by 1.26 seconds to win the B final. Wilson and Williamson, who before the World Cup meet were largely expected to be automatic selections for Paris, finished 9th overall. The men's pair nomination will take place after the next World Cup in Poland, starting June the 14th. That's sport. I'm Sandy Hodge.
For more news, listen to Newstalk ZB live on iHeartRadio.